book lovers and screen addicts. Welcome to our show, Page to Screen and In Between.
I'm Staci, and this is my literary partner in crime, Renee. So, Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry
You
Christmas.
with your cute little decorations
my little
behind you.
background with
And
the
yeah, so is your whole house decorated like that, or
Oh
is
gosh,
that it?
no, this is it.
That's it. That's your decoration.
This is it. I don't have life has really been very busy. So
Yeah.
you know,
This
this
is
has
mine. You see the
become
back blank walls?
yeah,
That's mine
yeah.
because I'm in between houses, and so there's no decorations here. So Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
well, Merry Christmas. I will say my husband put out a couple of lights outside, like the
Okay.
string of lights and a couple of little like fake bells, and it's
Okay.
cute. It's
So
cute.
lights outside, I have to tell the story really quick. So
Okay.
Jerry and I, we were living in St. Louis, and so I think we were like maybe 10 years into our marriage, and he's picked the coldest day of the year to try to string these lights on our house. And I'm out there trying to help him, and he's getting more mad and more mad. And I'm trying to tell him, you need to put it here, you need to put there, because I'm kind of standing back and seeing, and he's up by a tree, and finally he gets so mad, he takes the whole clump of lights and he throws them on the ground. And then we both stood dug our heels in. And for the entire Christmas season, that was our, like, we would turn the lights on and there was just a
A ball of lights.
A pile, like a pile of poop. It looked like poop lights. We called them the poop lights.
A lighted.
We just left them on the ground in a big pile. There's your light.
There we are.
So
Merry Christmas,
Merry
neighborhood.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I love that.
Happens to the best of us, I guess.
Well,
So,
Christmas, on the note of Christmas, I think that we chose the absolute perfect book to talk about. We're not going to get into it quite yet, but
no.
I feel like it was just I kind of threw it out as an idea, then we started running with it, and I'm just so excited today.
Yes, we didn't know what we were going to do for like our Christmas, I don't know, Christmas episode, and this was perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. So, I guess we can talk about our fascination first because it was my
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, I am fascinated at the vortex of scrolling. So, I have set, I've kind of prided myself on, I'm not on social media. I don't do it, but I will tell you, well, with Instagram, because I have to do a little bit of Instagram, it hooks me. And all of a sudden an hour has gone from my life.
Sucked
Into the vortex.
Yeah.
And Jerry will actually say, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. I just spent an hour doing nothing. I'm looking at videos of people I don't know, looking at ads of things I'm not going to buy or things I shouldn't buy, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I just got sucked into the vortex. And I think a lot of it has produced a generation, including our generation, because my mother gets sucked in too, because that's all she has to do. She's 90 and she gets sucked in. So it's not just the younger generation. I mean, I think it's all of us, with this fun. We're not bored. We never, ever let ourselves be bored. And
I remember as kids, we were bored all the time. And we figured out how to entertain ourselves.
We played. We were creative. We got a piece of paper out and drew a picture. We, and now it's like I remember my old grandmother, my sweet grandmother, if you said you were bored, she'd hand you a toilet brush. So you never told her you were ever bored because she'd be like, here's a toilet brush.
Here we go. Yeah.
And she was definitely one that was never bored. I mean, she was always reading, crocheting, baking. She watched all of the Watergate trials
every day. Yes.
And took notes on them, which is fascinating, right? I mean, she took notes. So we have all those notes that she took. She woke me up at 2:00 in the morning to watch Princess Di and Charles get married. Because, we didn't have, there was no recording. You had to get up and watch it. And they had made a special thing to watch it live. And so history's being made right now. And, she just was never bored. She always came up with something creative to do. And I try to do that with my granddaughter. Like, I mean, it's very easy to throw on a movie because my kids were babysat by the videos. I mean, I'm not, but this scrolling, I want her to really not do it. I mean, I want her to try to, kind of do some other things.
So yeah, no, I think that's really fascinating.
Fascination.
And well, it is. And I think some people call it doom scrolling, which
Yeah.
isn't, I get why they call it doom scrolling, because you get sucked into the vortex and you are in this endless loop of scrolling.
Yeah.
And everyone has a better life than you, according to Facebook. I have a friend she's an author. I adore her as a person, but she is such a PR machine that
Oh,
I feel as though
her life
nobody knows
looks
who
pretty
she is.
perfect. Yeah.
It is absolutely perfect. And I know for a fact there is not a lot of perfection in that life or that
Well, and
home.
to be fair, let's think of it this way. To the general public, I don't care. I don't want them to know all of my deep feelings and deep secrets. So to the general public, let it be that way. That's where I know my friends are really my friends, if they know about all my stuff and they know how I'm feeling about things.
And the people that spew
know.
their anger and depression and their
Yes.
negativity, it's so toxic that I've unfriended people, or
Yes.
I've hid from them, or I've silenced them because
Yes.
I just don't want to hear it. Or the braggadocio. I don't want to hear all the bragging.
Yeah.
And you can't even throw me a bone. So that kind of thing, so I get it. And I get why there are a lot of people who are anti social media for that reason, for
Yeah.
all of that reason as well.
Because they couldn't, because it sucks you in.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I feel like it has to be an all or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
like I think the majority of us can't live in that middle, like, I'll just do it for a little bit. I'll just go look and check it. And it sucks you in. And that's what's the fascinating part to me. Like,
Yes.
I'm pretty smart. My
Yeah.
brain is smart. And yet here I go, floop, 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 and I want the next blooper. And I want the next this, and it's like, what did I
The
just
reels
do?
really TikTok and reels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
Agreed.
I'm really going to work. That's one of my, I don't really love New Year's resolutions because I think that they're, but I think for the new year, I'm really going to just try to stay with Instagram with just, promoting the podcast and then getting off. And really trying to do some other things and write.
That's a great one. And I
Wanna
call
write.
I call New Year's resolutions a to-do list for the first week in January.
Right. Well, that's what,
Isn't
like when we go to the gym, the first week of January, we go to the gym and I'm like, people, get over your resolutions. Okay. Because the second
I'll
week in
see you in
January,
July.
yeah, it's fine. So I hate the first week of January in the gym.
Yeah.
It's packed.
So
And-
on that note of scrolling and social media, and you also, this will segue into our discussion
Yeah.
about the book. We have chosen, what book have we chosen?
A Christmas Carol.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yes.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. And so I was trying to find some movies to watch because there's hundreds of adaptations for it.
And which is fair. We're page to screen. So
yes. And so I'm scrolling through Prime and scrolling. I'm like, there's so many to choose from. I picked 3, which was a lot, right? To watch. Usually I watch one movie for this one thing, but it was a lot of scrolling. So, so that even like Netflix, Prime, they all have that same AI. They know what you're watching. And then they put it up. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I went to Barnes and Noble, and it was I was expecting something similar at Barnes and Noble. I was expecting like all these different versions of A Christmas Carol, or, different bindings and different sort of, that kind of thing, different sort of presentations of the book. What I did not realize is that it's considered a children's book. So I
Okay.
had to find it in the children's section. And this is the one I ended up buying. It was 70.99. And I had never, like you and I had never, you had said the same thing. I had never read it. Look
Oh,
at
it
an
was
itty bitty book.
7.99. I thought you said
Seven.
70.99.
Oh,
I'm like, holy cow, was it the first edition? Oh,
now,
okay. Yeah.
7.99, little
Okay.
paperback,
Yeah,
little
it's
itty
very
bitty book,
small.
very
Yeah.
short. As I said last time, when last we spoke, as I said, we were going to, I said it's a quick, fast read because I think it took me 2.5 hours to read the
Yeah.
book,
Yeah. It's
beginning to end.
but the cool part, or the, I guess, fascinating part, I had never read it. I
Same,
had
yeah.
seen so many of the different adaptations and plays. I've seen plays. The college that I worked for, Wesleyan, they put on the play every year, and they would do a little spin on it every year. They do
Uh-huh.
like a modern one, and then a really old fashioned one, and then and so every I watched it all the time, but I'd never read the book.
Well, and the book,
Really?
one of the things, there are two things I wanted to say about the book. One, phenomenally written,
I,
so well written, clever. The wording, the run-on sentences that went for pages were so
and
perfect.
the
The
humor in
humor,
it, the
yes, so funny. It wasn't nearly the ghost story that I was expecting. But if you notice, if you get a true version of A Christmas Carol, it
yeah,
doesn't say chapter one, chapter two.
yeah,
It says stave, Stave, one, stave two. There's
right,
five staves, five what we would call chapters. And I was like, what the heck is that? I never understood
yeah,
that. So,
yeah,
thank you, AI. I looked it up.
sure.
And
You
what it
scrolled,
is, yeah, so I scrolled.
you scrolled.
I scrolled. It's called A Christmas Carol. So he's playing on the music piece. And because a stave is in, if you look at a sheet of music, a line is called a stave.
Okay,
There are five staves
yeah,
on a sheet of music.
right, right.
And so it sort of reinforces that musical staff, and it sort of reinforces the song feel, song like theme, in his journeys from low to high and the climax and sort of the
Crescendo,
crescendo.
yes. We all
And
say
so yeah, so that's kind of
crescendo.
where Steve came from. And
Uh,
like you said and I said, and we've talked about it, I cannot rave enough about just how fun it was to read this book.
I the artistry of it, that I mean, and I'm not the author that you are, but the artistry of it just
Oh,
inspired me so much because, like, even so, he uses want and ignorance. I think it was with the Ghost of Christmas
the
Present.
Yes,
Yes,
with the
the big,
twins. Yeah,
the
the
two
twins, the
children, yeah,
wanted,
and the
yes,
he and she, the
yes,
horrifying children of want and ignorance, and I'm like, just the picture of it, like, and I know that children, because he had been put into a Charles Dickens had been put in. I'll get into that a little bit. A workhouse,
right, right,
basically, when his dad was taken to debtor's prison, and so children were looked at as just like how Scrooge
free
looked at them,
labor.
urchins, a bother,
Yep,
one less thing in this society to deal with if they, what, and it's good for them to go to the workhouse and, all this.
right,
I mean, and so this want and ignorance kind of plays into that as horrifying children, like, they're want. I mean, you have a want. You
right.
can't
And that's kind of how
fix that.
Scrooge looked at children, but in
Yeah.
both scenes, and I think it was Ghost of Christmas Present, in both of, or the when he was looking at the present, in both scenes with the woman that ended up breaking their engagement, and
Okay.
then in Bob Cratchit's family, um, he saw people valuing children and
Yes.
valuing family and
Yes.
valuing the community and being together for the holiday and not almost kind of like the Grinch. It's very much a retelling
Yeah.
of A
Right.
Christmas Carol in that he doesn't understand how they are still celebrating Christmas when there's no, even in the very beginning, he's like, you have no reason to be happy today. You've got no money. you're poor, you've got all those mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Why would you why would you have a Merry Christmas? And
But then the nephew comes back and says, "You have no reason to
right,
be
because you're
miserable
rich and
because
you
you're
have
rich."
everything.
Yeah, and you have everything.
And then, but within, in that, as we see, he goes home, he's such a miser. He
Yeah.
has all this money and he lives like an impoverished person.
Yes. But I
He,
think that comes from Dickens' upbringing. Like, well, so can we just segue a little bit to the man who invented Christmas?
yes, because talking about all the versions, one of my favorite versions, which is not really a version, is the man who invented Christmas, which is
Yeah.
the story. Highly recommend that movie. Highly, highly,
Highly.
highly.
Yes.
The story of Dickens writing A Christmas Carol. And as I told my husband, and then you could talk about the movie. I told my husband after we watched it, we went to the theater when it came
Yeah.
out. After we watched it, he sat there for very silent when it was over, and he looks over at me and he says, I finally understand your mind, because it really gets into the mind of a writer
Right.
through the times when the story's not coming, when it's flowing, trying to get the feedback from people, and then being mad when you get honest feedback. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and not
Right.
understanding what he's trying to say, and people urging him to make it a different ending and a happy ending, and he's just convinced it doesn't need to be. It's a ghost story.
Yeah.
And so I love that, and my husband loved that. So I recommend the movie, if for no other reason, to understand the creative mind of a
Yeah.
writer, because nails it.
It
That
does.
movie
It does.
nails it.
And it is based on a book. It is a book.
Okay. Yeah.
The
So
Man Who
there you
Invented Christmas,
go.
isn't it? Because I went to do some fact checking. I thought, well, sometimes these Netflix movies are, they kind of take some liberties,
Mhm.
on the facts and everything. I mean, it was spot on. It was
Yeah.
spot on. His dad was put into debtor's prison. He worked at a black strapping,
I think
um,
it was shoe polish, wasn't it?
black
That
strapping.
was,
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
it was called black strapping. It was
Right, right.
like that. He worked there
In the
at
workhouse.
11 years old. At
Yep. He
11
got
years
left
old,
behind when his
he got
father
left
got
behind,
sent
and
to
so then they
debtor's
put
prison.
him to work. They're just all of it. Like his employer, the maid was the Irish maid who told ghost stories. I mean, there was just
Which is a
so
tradition, which is an
yes.
Irish tradition, a Christmas
And he
tradition
did
of
write it
telling
in
ghost
6
stories.
weeks, which was
Yes.
unheard of
Yes.
back in that day. To go from zero to book in 6 weeks was
Did it
unheard of.
all. He was the first independent publisher. He
Right.
did it all himself because
Yeah.
he couldn't get the publisher to do it, and hired the illustrator. And the illustrations, if you go online,
Oh, they're
again,
just
they're
fascinating.
beautiful
Yes.
and they're fascinating.
Yeah.
And I would love a first edition. Ha ha ha. That's never going to happen. But
No.
oh my gosh, I would love to even just see
Yeah,
one.
with the gold
Yes.
trim and
Yeah.
it's just beautiful. I mean, and I'm sure they have copies of first edition,
Mhm.
like they have
Oh,
those.
yeah.
I mean, you can get a gift, probably. I would probably call it a gift book or whatever.
Like that's, yes, yes. And I went to Barnes and Noble, and maybe in my town, my city, it's not as beloved, but I can't imagine, how when you go into Barnes and Noble during the holidays,
Mhm.
they have like the
Christmas books.
the gift books, the books that
Right,
you
right,
give as
right.
gifts. My particular one doesn't have that. I
That's
missed when I was in
interesting.
Kentucky, they had like that whole section of
Yeah,
gift books. So maybe I
interesting.
just need to go to a different Barnes and Noble, because I really want to just see, because remember I said I was expecting all kinds of different bindings, and
Yeah,
I
and
I
you got
didn't
a
find it.
paperback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
it's really a wonderful book, and
it
I
is.
did love, so going into the movies, one of the things I also did was, for the last 3 weeks, it's very anecdotal, I asked people, "What is your favorite version of A
Mm,
Christmas Carol?"
okay, okay,
And I found it's very generational.
okay,
Older people, there's 2 ones. If you want a traditional version, they love either the George C. Scott
right,
version or the original 1938 version,
okay.
because it feels more Dickensy, like
Yeah,
more
more true to
more
the book.
true, yeah, and has that feel, the old time feel.
Right.
Or a lot of people, a lot of boomers love Scrooged with Bill Murray.
It's
That
so
is their
good.
favorite
Yeah.
version.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I've watched it so many times, and
It's
it's
hysterical.
pretty good.
Yes, it's a typical Bill Murray. He can't pull off angry, but he can pull off kind of greedy
Yeah. It was good.
and tone deaf, I
Yeah.
would say. His character was more tone deaf than evil, but
Yeah.
still really good.
Yeah.
And then as I started getting younger, like millennials, the Muppets,
Yep.
they love A Christmas Carol with the Muppets.
Yeah.
That's their favorite
Yeah.
version.
With the old guy, or Michael Caine
Michael Caine
is
plays
Scrooge.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
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 And then
It definitely is good. Yeah.
yeah, Kermit, and then the Miss Piggy and their family with the little
Yeah.
piggies. So yeah,
And then
and
just yesterday we watched Spirited
yes,
with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and it's a total spin. It's
yes,
it is a it is an adaptation, but it definitely takes a spin.
because Will Ferrell plays Scrooge, right?
Well, he
But
plays the ghost of Christmas Present, who was Scrooge. They're saying the
right,
ghost of Christmas Present now was Scrooge, but
right.
you don't
So
know
it's
that
sort
until
of
you
his
start seeing.
legacy. His legacy
Yes,
now
it's.
is to
I probably
turn,
just gave a spoiler alert.
turn ugly hearts. No, I think it's very early on that he's Scrooge. Like I think you know he's Scrooge.
Yeah,
Don't you?
I think I
I
just
remember
gave a
thinking it's
spoiler
surely he's Scrooge.
alert. Oh well, watch it anyway.
It's
'Cause it's super good. It's really good.
I love it. It's super good.
It's super good. So yeah, but it was great. I had done a little research on the plays because I've seen it several times in play form,
Mhm.
and I thought, oh, I wonder, and it said in every year, there's thousands of plays. It didn't say hundreds,
Wow.
thousands of plays
Oh,
every year. Like in New York City, there's like 7 different theaters that put it on,
wow.
including like one of the main stages,
Wow.
but the off
Mhm.
Broadway, the Broadway. Like in New York City alone, there's like all these. So they just said across the country, there's just thousands, a world. I'm sure in London, I mean in
Oh,
England,
I bet it's on every yes, I
yeah,
bet in
every state,
England it's every corner.
which I just think is such a phenomenon because I mean
Yeah.
it was when was it done in 1843?
Yeah, it was and
Was
that was the
there's
one thing I
hundreds of
felt like yeah, 1843.
what
Yes.
other book to movie to play has done that.
Right.
Like I
That's
don't think.
still relevant.
Yeah,
And that's the point of the whole story.
yes, you are right.
Is it
Relevant.
is still relevant today. And maybe we need to back up a minute. For the one person that may be listening or watching that's never heard of A Christmas Carol or watched any version, it's about a man who is very greedy, very angry. Bah humbug came from this
Right.
book. And he is a man who has decided that he's just going to live his life out being a miser. He's very chintzy. Like he cannot part with a buck, as
No,
my father would say.
no.
This man cannot part with a buck,
Even for himself.
even for himself.
There's a lot of people that are very stingy to others.
Right,
This guy was even stingy to himself.
right. He lived a miserly life. He lived
Yeah.
a life of a very poor person. And so through the course of an evening, he keeps thinking it's 3 evenings, but through the course of an evening, he is visited by Ghost of Christmas Past, which is his only friend, business partner that's died and is chained to all of his money. And he's
Right.
basically there to warn Scrooge, be very careful, rethink this, or you're going to end up like me. You already have your chains
Yeah.
on you. You just don't see them.
Yeah. So there's 4
And
ghosts. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Present and then it takes him through his past. The ghost
Well,
revisits
there's
his
another
past.
ghost though. It's the young girl.
Yes,
It's
that
the
takes
young
him
girl
through the
ghost, which is
past.
the past. And it
Right.
takes
Marley is just the ghost that warns him you're going to be
Yes.
visited by 3.
Yes. Yes.
So then the little girl takes him all the way back
Yes.
to his childhood when he was a very happy kid and he can't
Until
quite
his
figure
dad.
out when
Yeah.
it all happened. And he kind of gets to revisit how he became who he is.
Yes.
Then you get another Ghost of Christmas Present, who shows him the ramifications of his mean, awful, stingy ways.
Yeah.
And that's when he's completely flummoxed that here are the two families that he can't understand why they are so happy.
Yeah.
And
His
he is
nephew and
seeing,
Cratchits. Yeah.
yeah, his nephew Cratchit, and then the woman, remember also the woman that he didn't marry, he gets to glimpse her life
But
too.
she's got all these children, whether
Yes,
it almost looks like they're orphans because they're
right.
all about the same age.
Right, and they're so happy. And
Yes.
so he gets to see that, and then he finally meets little tiny Tim through the present and can't understand why Cratchit is so, um,
Happy.
happy,
Yeah.
but he sees how much love he has for the boy, and then he goes to Christmas future and then sees I had where, Bob is home late because he's working, and then we find out that Tiny Tim has died, and so
Right.
Scrooge is like, "Please, please, please don't let this be my life."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
and it's
finally
interesting in the Man Who Invented Christmas, he's arguing with everybody
about whether Tiny
about
Tim should
Tiny Tim.
die.
He's like, wait, Tiny Tim can't die. Wait,
Everybody's like,
they're
"Tiny
like,
Tim can't die.
Tiny
Tim can't
Tiny
die."
Tim can't die. Tiny Tim can't die. He's like,
And he's like,
it's
"Yes, that's
life.
the story.
Yeah.
Yes, he dies.
And
That's
his
the
own
story."
sister's son, his nephew,
It's
his
the Tiny
Dickens
Tim.
nephew was based on Tiny Tim, and it was, he was sick, and
Mhm.
they, yeah. So it was so it's just so interesting how it was all intertwined, and
Yes.
um,
Again, our favorite part of all of it was watching the man who invented Christmas. But,
yes,
and I would say that, and the other thing that we learn at the end, which I had not researched, that we learn at the end of the man who invented Christmas is that after the book came out and it was a hit, sold
right,
out everywhere,
right,
charitable giving increased by what,
increased,
300%.
yes. That's, yeah. So people read
So
the book
people
and
were
said, I need to
touched,
give, yeah, I need to give to the poor, and I need
right?
to not
And
be
so
ignorant.
if anything else, the beginning of social change.
Yes,
And
yes,
and that's the power of words. It's the power of story.
yes.
It's the power of touching lives on that kind of level. And as an author, Charles Dickens has no idea and had no idea and certainly had no plans that this book would still be touching lives and changing lives today.
Right.
Well over, we're closing in on, 200 years
I
after he wrote
know.
this book.
I know it. It's crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy. And it reminds me, my brother always says that my dad used to shine at Christmas. He was kind of this hard man, and kind of reminds me like he was kind of a gruff, but at Christmas he would just shine. And there's just something, about, I mean, there's the true meaning of Christmas, and then there's, just something about what it's become even to other cultures, other countries, that has surpassed that. It's like it just brings that feeling
Yeah.
that at least this time of the year, let's be generous. At least this week, let's be generous. Or
Yeah, let's shine.
if you're
Let us shine.
selfish the
Yes.
rest of the year, or if you're a grumper, if you're whatever the rest of the year, at least
Yeah.
let's do Christmas.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of what it took from the end of the book was, no, he said, I'm going to be a father. I'm going to be a second father to Tiny Tim. And I'm going to, he took the at least, because they kept saying to him when he was, before he
Going
was
through
busy,
going through the process.
at least it's Christmas. It's Christmas. And he was like, so what?
Yeah.
So what? I don't care. It's one day
Remember how
that I get
angry,
robbed because I have to still
right?
pay him. And,
And he did, and I'm getting work out of him.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
one
at
day
least
where I
Christmas.
pay you and you don't work for me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the Christmas Carol, the book at least, tries to take away that at least
Mhm.
and say, let's be those people all the
Right.
time. Let's be Christmas all the time.
Right.
And not just save it for this time of year. Let's be that,
Right.
as a person.
And let's take out, okay, so but you made a really important point about all religions, whatever your
Yeah.
religion is. And, there's a lot of cliches and the reason for the season and what
Oh
is your
yeah, yeah.
reason for the
Mhm.
season and things like that. taking all of that out of this, it is a time of goodwill and charity.
Yeah.
And let's not get caught up in the poop lights.
No, right.
In that pile of lights. Let's not
The
get
pile
caught
of
up
lights that are, yeah.
the poop pile of lights. Let's not get caught up in, like we were talking about, this is it. This is my decoration right here.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about whether or not we got the right stocking stuffers or the gifts. I met a lady yesterday who was so frazzled because her children are teenagers now and they still do stockings. And she's like, when can we say it's enough? She said, because teenager stockings are different from kid stockings. And can't we just get rid of this tradition? And she was so frazzled because there's only 2 days left to shop for Christmas.
Yeah.
And really a day and a half today. And most places are closing early tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she was frazzled. And I said to her, let this be the first year of not doing the stockings.
Put a note in it. Put a note in it.
Put in, or say, I donated $20 to so-and-so in your name.
You love dogs. I donated $20 to the Humane Society.
Yeah, to Humane Society.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, I think that's a great idea to once they get to a certain point, then, and the thing is, if they're a
poor mom
child,
was frazzled.
Yeah, if they're a child that gets nothing throughout the year, and this is the only time, good. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
But let's face it. My kids get stuff all year. I mean, they get stuff all the time, and so it's not that they're waiting and having the want. The want is that horrifying children, the want is one of the children. But one of our babysitters used to say the having or the getting is more fun than the having.
Right.
So how many times do they want something, they get it, and then it sits there.
Well, and it's with my daughter, it used to be whenever I refuse to get my grandkids toys anymore.
Yeah.
Because I would be getting a new link every day up until Christmas of this is really what they want. No, this is what they want. No, this is what they want.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? They're going to get toys. I'm not going to be the person getting them toys. They won't remember it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to get them. I got them. Okay. So I sort of ended up in a very similar, I got them Uggs. And they're little. Yeah, I got them Uggs because I actually have access. Because let me tell you, Uggs is the company has created this false scarcity, but I was able to get, and I got them the cute tennis shoe Uggs. The ones with the fur and their tennis shoe Uggs.
Oh, fun!
Because I was like,
that's
you know
great.
what? It's the season, and they're expensive. They're like $120 a piece, and I'm like,
they're gonna love that.
Enough, and they're identical. They're just one's darker, one's lighter, so it's very clear, boy, girl.
Yeah,
and then I think they're into Harry Potter, so I got them.
It's very clear.
One's darker, right? That's true.
Which? But no, I'm being serious. Like you said, it's very clear. It's the darker one for the boy.
Yeah, because of the way it looks. It's
okay.
Black.
Okay, not the darker light. Just
no.
I was like,
no.
How are dark colors?
Boy, I'm just like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm just like assuming everyone knows what's going on in my mind. I hate that about people, and I just did it.
It's a scary
and then I got them little cheap Harry Potter blankets because they're really into Harry Potter.
Fun.
And I'm just like, no more toys. Yeah. And I'm putting my foot down. So I don't know how we got into this from the Christmas Carol.
And that you kind of my final word is what we're kind of talking about. So
okay, let's do it. Let's segue. Well, wait, before this or that. This or that. Do you want me to do our little? Here we go. We'll do this.
That's fun. Which is best?
Which is best? This or that. Okay.
For me, page 100%. The actual book, The Man Who Invented Christmas. I love that. But if you're doing a Christmas Carol, like the actual Christmas Carol book, 100%.
100%. Okay. I agree times a million because I was so delighted to find out that I loved this book. I was not expecting to be delighted at all.
I was kind
so
of thinking
excited.
it was going to be okay, I got to read it because I'm doing this podcast.
Right.
And I was just like, every day. So
It's
excited to read
delightful.
them.
It
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
delightful. And then I even went one step further and I listened to the audio version with Hugh Grant doing the voices.
Oh,
Worth a listen. So good. It was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was so well
yeah.
done.
If you're
Hugh Grant's
commuting
got
to
a
work,
great voice.
yes.
And he did all the voices, and I was so impressed with that. So, yes,
Okay.
100% the book. And I do consider an audiobook the same as a book. So I loved the
Well,
book.
you're
I,
not
like I said,
judgmental like me. That's so nice. I'm so
I know so many people. I know they're
I'm
like,
very
it's not.
judgmental. Although if you're listening to it like on a commute, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want you
Time.
reading on your commute. You know, I'm
The
do that.
only time I'm not judgmental is there are people with dyslexia that audiobooks have opened up
Yes. Well, people who are
reading to them.
blind, for goodness sake.
Right,
I mean,
right,
people who can't
right.
read, of course. But yeah, I'm
Or
kind of
time
judgmental.
crunches, like Hillary listens to books in her car on
Yes, so does Hannah.
1.5 or
Hannah,
2.0.
yeah, Hannah
I'm
has a
like, Hillary,
20
can you
minute.
please turn that off? It's driving me nuts because
Yeah,
she listens to it really, really
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
So, and then I would say for movie, I I have to say that I liked the original, the
yeah,
1930s version. I like it with all the crackling, the bad audio,
yeah,
the
yeah,
bad video, because I feel like it takes me to, it doesn't because it's 1938, but I feel like
yeah,
it takes me to Victorian England.
yeah,
And so I love that version, but still the book,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Book, book,
The
book.
book. Yep, me too. So,
All
yay. Well,
right. So
read the book.
final word. That's you, Stacy.
And it's just about holiday traditions. Again, we touched on it, the stocking. I love
Yeah,
that idea of putting a note in their stocking, and kids do get in if you donate to something that they care about, they really get into it.
they do.
They
They
really
do.
love it. So find something they care about, find something, that, and I'm not saying bypass all presents, but
No.
like this, like the gal with the stockings, make things simple. The person who invented Elf on a Shelf should be shot.
Oh, it's terrible. Uh-huh.
Don't actually go
100%.
shoot somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
You're not in, yes, you're
I'm not
anti-gun
I'm not
violence.
saying
Make
that's a
sure
good
it.
thing. But what I'm saying is, like, why would you add something more to a mother? Because it's the mom,
Of
right?
course it
No,
is.
I
In
mean, the
our
mom,
culture, it is the mom. And let
that's
me
the mom.
tell you,
Why would you add
I'm watching it.
something more to the time of year and have to do stuff? So it's like, yeah, I don't get into the elf on the, I never got into that stuff. But I think keeping things simple and then and then releasing them. Sometimes we have traditions that are so set and nobody wants to do them anymore,
Hmm.
but they're so set in us that we're like, no, we're hanging on to it. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And so just really try to have joy.
Hmm.
Choose joy in Christmas and just have fun and be with people. And maybe the traditions are that we just are together and we just have joy, but keeping things very simple. That's my
Yes,
last thing.
let's tap into our Bob Cratchit and tap into just enjoying the time with our family
A good
and
meal.
it, even if it's not
Yeah,
Christmas Day, if for some of us who work during the holidays, then let it be your January Christmas. Let it be, it does not have to be
yeah,
on the day. You do
yeah,
not, I love it that for the kids, I love that they get that tradition, wake up in their own beds and get to
yes,
have Christmas and Santa finds them and, whatever your tradition is, but also don't hang on so tightly that it ruins the season for yourself.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I
Yep,
love that.
yeah,
Well, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And
yes.
Stacy, what are we doing next in the new
Okay, this
year?
is pretty exciting in a kind of a surreal way. So we're going to do Confessions of a Shopaholic, which at one point it was your idea, and I'm
I
like,
love the
never
book.
read the
I
book.
love Sophie Kinsella.
This is the first time I'm doing one that I haven't seen the movie or read the book.
Hmm.
I haven't done either, or the screen or the book. So I'm going to be, fresh eyes,
Introduced.
fresh
Yep.
looking into it. But when we decided that it was going to like be in February, or it was going to be a couple of episodes down, but then Sophie unfortunately passed away.
Right.
And I just thought it was a good memorial to her to start the new year with her book. And we're going to kind of honor her memory. She was very young, 55. I think she had a battle of cancer and lost that battle, but just recently died like 2 weeks ago.
And
And
she's one
so,
of my favorite
yeah,
authors. When I want to cleanse my palate and just sit down and enjoy all of her books, I just have loved her books.
and I've never read any. So I am super
Yes.
excited to read that. So that's one that if you and my library, it's on back or it's on back rental because I think because she's passed, people are doing it. But get the book, get the audio, watch the movie. I
They
think
stream the movie a lot. I've caught it on one of our cable, or we use YouTube TV.
okay.
I've caught it on some of those channels, so it's an easy movie to find too.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that'll be my next 2 weeks.
All
I'll be
right.
doing
Well,
that
we'll
and
see
getting that
y'all in
done.
2 weeks, and
Yeah.
thanks for being with us. It was a fun day.
Yes.
And everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry Christmas.
Holidays,
Yes.
Happy Hanukkah,
Happy
whatever you
Hanukkah, happy
celebrate.
whatever,
Yeah,
Kwanzaa,
whatever.
all of it, joy.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Happy. So,
Yay.
okay,
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
bye.